G'day fellas and welcome to Season 4 of Age of Empires 4. The update has just dropped and it is now available to play. It's called Enchanted Grove because, you guessed it, there is a new biome called Enchanted Grove. And that's the whole theme for this season. It's more mythological, I guess you could say. Now, before we get into it, I will just let you know, you can play Age of Empires 4 for free this weekend on Steam and pick it up at 40% off until February 23rd. That's like, for me, I'm on the 17th of February. Most of you guys probably on the 16th of February, so there's plenty of time. But you know what, Steam, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You guys get the point. There's like 6-7 days for you to pick up Age of Empires 4 at 40% off. So if you haven't already, make sure you go grab it. So we're going to just quickly run through the changes for Season 4. We're not going to go for a deep dive. It's not going to be a long video. This is just something for you to see in your newsfeed and be like, oh, Season 4, Age of Empires 4, that's a thing. Yeah, that's a thing. Let's take a look and see what we've got. Ladies and gentlemen, Enchanted Grove event. So it is an event. You've got new portraits available. I've already picked myself up this one right here. You've got new coat of arms, new monument. Take a look at that bad boy right there. So that's something that you can pick up. In addition to that, we've got the new biome, which is called Enchanted Grove, and you can see it right here. It is absolutely gorgeous. Let's load it up. I'll just show you it. Now, I don't actually know whether it's going to be in rotation or not. And by rotation, what I mean is that it's played in like your ranked games. Where is it? Enchanted Grove. There you are. And we'll just go on Dry Arabia so you guys can see it on a map that you will recognize. There we go. Let's put a second player in. I hope that we've got it on revealed. We did indeed. So you can see what the new biome looks like. So it kind of looks like nighttime. Imagine you're playing at nighttime and you're in the middle of like a festival in some sort of eastern country. There you go. That's it. I like the way that you've got like these illuminated... Are they almost lanterns? They kind of look like lanterns. Like they're very clearly illuminated. So yeah, that's it. But you take a look at the map and see how it looks. And it's got almost a little bit of a foggy kind of look to it. Like maybe there's a fire over in Altai or something like that. And it's a little bit smoky, a little bit hazy. But I do like it. I like it a lot. Now I'm playing as pink, so it's going to look even more pink. But over here you can see we've got green. But it definitely has that nighttime feel. Anyway, I'm curious what you guys think. Leave a comment down below whether you like it, whether you don't. For me personally, I love it. I've always been a fan of like the cherry orchids, that kind of nice pink tree kind of look. I reckon it looks very, very awesome. So let's quit out of that and let's get back into the patch notes, or rather the Season 4 update. So of course, we've also got the ranked play, which is going to be starting in 24 hours from when this video is posted. Actually, it's probably going to be close to about 20 hours from when this video is posted. And you can see that there are brand new rewards for you, so you get a nice little crown. That's what I'm going to be going for, the nice little Conqueror crown. So it also lasts until June 7th. So what are we at? Geez, are you sure Ranked Season 4 ends on June 7th? That's a long season. A season's really 3 months. Geez, that feels like a long time, doesn't it? 3 months? Yeah, 3 months. Almost 4 months. Jeez, hey, that's pretty long. I didn't realize it was that long. Next up, we've got the map pools for this season. Now, I'm only going to be covering the 1v1 ranked map pool, but you can see that we've also got the team one there if you're interested in it. So let's take a look at those. So for our land maps, Dry Arabia, you'll be familiar with this bad boy right here. Prairie. Now, they've made a change to this one. You used to spawn a little bit closer to your enemy. Now you kind of spawn further away towards the corner. So it's a much nicer map for you now. We've got Lipany, which makes its return. Altai as well, which will be making its return. So a bit more of a closed maps right here, whereas these are very open maps. Prairie obviously being the most open map. Then we move down onto our hybrid maps. So we've got Ancient Spires, Wetlands, and Oasis. Now, Oasis is going to be making its debut in the ranked pool. Now, this map is a bit of an interesting one. There is some really good fish in the middle, but you got to remember that normally when you're doing fishing on a map like Boulder Bay as an example, you're getting in there really, really early. So if you look to try and take fish on this map, you're going to have to chop through that forest, and it could take you up to a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes to get through there. And by that time, is that fish on land? Is that a fish out of water? Look at that right there. Look at that. Anyway, so basically you'll be able to mitigate, or your enemy may be able to mitigate some of that advantage that you've got. So even though this is kind of technically a water map, I would personally say it's a hybrid map. Just because the focus on water here, I suspect it's probably going to be more around, the early to mid game kind of thing rather than the super early game. And then, of course, we've got our water maps. Boulder Bay is making its return, and notice that it is much smaller than before. Remember that it used to be quite large before. I'll draw it for you guys just so that you can remember, because it was quite large and in charge. It used to be like up like that. That was how it used to be, but not anymore. And then, of course, we've got water holes, which will also be making its debut in ranked. So this is, I think, was it Kawasan? It's basically like the Kawasan remake. It's just, it's a little bit different. So these two maps, if you do get them, it's imperative that you play water on these maps. But anyway, let's move on to the patch notes on where we go further. So build spotlight, new maps. There are 3 new maps coming in. We've got 4 lakes, we've got Continental, and we've got Marshland, and that's what these maps are here. So we've got Continental, also known as Conti from Age of Empires 1. We've got 4 lakes, and then we've got Marshland. So interestingly, they've gone with some interesting design choices here. So as an example, on Continental, all the relics spawn in the corners, and there's 8 of them. So that's kind of wild. Also, 4 lakes, all of the sacred sites spawn on the corners, so that's kind of wild as well. So I don't know how to really feel about that. And then we've got Marshland over here. And the sacred site in the middle is protected by all of this marshland. There is fish in the middle, and you can build docks, but the problem is that your fishing boats can't always traverse all of the water because it's shallow, and then it's not shallow, and then it's shallow again. And so, yeah, it's very, very difficult. I suspect people are probably just going to be stomping all the fish there in the middle because it's just going to be easier that way. So that is the new maps. So we keep on moving through. New game mode. It's going to be Nomad. This one obviously came to us quite early on. As soon as we got modding from the community, put this together. But now it is quote unquote officially, well, not quote unquote, it is now officially supported. We have now got Nomad as a game mode for you, and you'll be able to choose it without having to download any mods. So you can see right here, it's right there. Now, we've also got, in addition to that, some updates, some UX, UI updates. So you can increase the size of the minimap now, so you can get a nice big minimap. The HUD for units has also been improved, so you can now actually see their weapons. I don't know if you guys remember before, but like, if you had a knight that had its lance out, you could not see the sword attack, and I would have to wait for a knight to attack something before I could see that. So, it's a nice little change. So really good change. They've also made it so that duplicate weapons, so if you ever clicked on a keep with all of its, or maybe not a keep, maybe like a Baoshuan with all of its cannons, it now just like stacks them up. It's like, yeah, they've got a cannon that does 88 damage times, oh, here you go, yeah, 12 bow times 3. Much easier that way. So that is really, really nice. Garrison UI improvement, so you can now see the units that are garrisoned. Also, take a look at that. That is the new Palace Guard profile icon. I guess we'll just go with icon. Before it just looked like a men-at-arms. I always wondered why I call Palace Guards men-at-arms when I saw the picture. It's because it was the same picture. Now it's got its own unique picture. So shout out to the devs on that one. At least I think that's the Palace Guard. Why does it have 4? Oh god. No, wait, no, that makes sense. Hold on. Everything's got 4. Why do they all have 4 now? Didn't it? It just used to be 2 before, right? To signify castle and imperial. Anyway. I guess that makes sense, right? Like, anyway, improved multiplayer team UI. So you can now send 5 and 10 times the resources. So shift key will send you 500 and control key will send 1,000. So control click sends 1,000. So that's very nice. And then finally, the cherry on top of the patch. This is by far the biggest update that we've had for Age of Empires 4. It is the landmark rework. So many of the landmarks have been changed. Some of them haven't. As an example that they use here is the Golden Gate, aka the S+ tier landmark. It hasn't received any changes, but the other landmarks that weren't used as much have received some big changes. So as an example, for all you English mains out there, I know there's plenty of you, the Council Hall, it got a massive change. It now has the ability to train crossbows and hand cannoneers. And this might not seem like a big thing for you, but I promise you it is. The fact that you're able to train crossbows in 11 seconds from this bad boy upon reaching Castle Age means that you're not ever going to die to a men-at-arm timing push from the Holy Roman Empire with their Burgrave. It means you're not going to die to Mongols hitting you early with a couple of lances. It means that you can build up a solid defense very, very early without investing anything. So that's massive. They've also changed the Abbey of Kings, which now has access to build the king. So there's just so many big changes, and like on top of that, like King's Palace, it's got extra health on it now. White Tower can now work 100% faster, which means that instead of acting as 1 siege shop, it now works as 2 siege shops. The Wingard Palace has got access to all of these new units, including the Rangers, the Footmen, and then of course the Berkshire Palace now has a weapon range of 15 with everything. So every single English landmark got changed. Some massively, some not so much, like the King's Palace. But overall, huge changes, and every single civilization, with the exception, I think, of maybe like the Ottomans, the Malians, and the Chinese, pretty much got completely reworked. So this is a huge update. It changes the way that this game will be played, and where we go from here, who knows? It's going to get a little bit crazy. There's a couple of other changes, but these are all pretty minuscule stuff. I'm not going to go over any of the big changes that have come through. Obviously, you can see AI changes to maps, all that kind of stuff, and balance changes as well. But we're not going to go over any of that. This is just a short little video. If you want to see these changes, I'll leave a link down in the description. Once again, make sure you pick up Age of Empires at 40% off through February 23rd. And of course, it's available for free this weekend on Steam for you to play. But I think after the weekend, you will have to pay for it, unfortunately. Anyway, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.